is it's in all of us. It's in the human genetic system to want whoever you perceive as your side to win. It's why there's more Red Sox fans in Boston than in Oregon. In Oregon, I didn't mean any. Okay, but there's a lot in Boston. Did someone persuade the Bostonians that the Red Sox were just a morally superior option? No. It's the home team, and we all love rooting for the home team. It's why when a country goes to war, even a bad war, when a country like attacks its neighbors and does bad stuff like that, if they're winning, they'll get popular support. Because everybody likes to see their country win, even in a bad cause. The anti-war movement didn't really get off the ground in the United States until we started losing in Vietnam. It was the losing, not the moral principle. It was that it wasn't going our way. We love to see our own team win. And so this is potentially dangerous because we will tend, as humans, all of us all the time, to think in terms of our group and want our group to beat the other group. Do you know how we can turn this into not such a bad thing? Patriotism. See, it doesn't have to be an ethnic group. It can be a national group. And what we as Americans, and it's very important because multi-ethnic societies, if you look at the history of the world, have tended to fail. Because multi-ethnic societies don't work very well, usually. What made America special is that all the different ethnic groups did not worry about their group. They thought of themselves as American. The group doesn't matter. What matters is we're all American. And if you can recapture that, the racial stuff will go away. And the tribalism can be challenged in a much healthier direction. The problem is that the left hates patriotism. And so they're back to encouraging the ethnic grievances that are going in totally the wrong direction. So anyhow, I had some thoughts on sexism. I don't think we have time for them. I'm going to really quickly tell you that I write books, and they're kind of cute and fun. And what makes what I do possible, which is to travel the country and talk to groups about these kinds of ideas, is that people support what I do through the books and things like that. Some of you have probably seen my first book, The New Democrat, is a parody history of the Obama administration with Reid and Pelosi as Thing 1 and Thing 2. It humorously tells, it's the 5th edition by the way, it tells the whole 8-year story of Obama done as the catnap, and Salon.com called it the most twisted piece of conservative propaganda print matter out there, which is very touching. I put that on the cover. And then my second book, The Gorax, is a parody of the Lorax, of course. It's my anti-environmentalist parody. It's about how our country is being destroyed by environmentalists for profit, interestingly enough, and it stars Al Gore as the greedy environmentalist. And then my most recent book from last year, I wanted to do something on the 2016 elections called The Wizard of Iz, and it stars Bill Clinton as the wizard. When they first meet him, they say, "Are you the Wizard of Iz?" And he says, "It all depends on your definition of Iz." And Hillary is the Wicked Witch. There's even a cowardly rhino who suspects the Democrats are wrong, but he's too scared to do anything about it. It's actually, this is actually a good book, I think. It starts when Dorothy's house lands on Obama, and she finds herself in the land of the free lunchkins, who have been living off the government for so long they've forgotten how to take care of themselves. And I also, so if you're interested in any of these, I'd love to get you a signed copy. You know, Christmas is not that far away. Somebody on your list would love one, and you'll be happy, and I'll be happy. It'll be great. And I have the books are $24.95, or you can get all 3 for $59.95. And checks and credit cards are fine. I also have a couple banned movies, because I told you I was a believer in free speech. Song of the South, lovely Disney movie from 1948, has been banned since 1982 because Jesse Jackson doesn't like it. But it's the song Zippity Doo Dah. It's very nice. It's not racist, not in any normal sense of the word. And then The Path to 9/11 was a movie made by ABC Television about what led to 9/11, and it's been banned pretty much from the day it came out because Bill Clinton didn't like it. It implies that Bill Clinton didn't do a really good job back in the 90s of protecting us from the terrorists, and so Clinton called up the president of ABC and made him get rid of it. But it's the whole complete uncensored movie, plus another disc. It's a 4-disc set, which is a movie called Blocking the Path to 9/11, which is a documentary about why you can't get the first movie. So it's the whole banned movie, plus a movie about how it got banned. It's a unique set. And then, of course, there's my seminar, Economic Literacy, on a set of 3 DVDs in case you missed it or would like to relive it. Thank you so much. You want me to take questions? We're out of time.
No, take questions.
Were there questions?
Come on,
I
kids.
didn't need to ask you.
How do you, the students here, how do you think his presentation would go if he did it to a not totally unreasonable subset of your fellow students?
There exists a not totally unreasonable subset of our fellow students.
Well, just not like, you know, not the Black Lives Matter contingent, but a cross section. How do you think how his presentation would do?
There's a couple of the more extreme things that you can just drop out like every now and then.
But I think though you should address though, like
That's not that it shouldn't be included in different audiences, but
I would love to have them come to my school though.
but what
UMass?
I think you're very good, but I
Zoom.
think though just saying though that I think not being apologetic even more so in terms of okay, so what are like if any like Milo or any other like Ben Shapiro who clearly is not a white supremacist, everyone says he's a white supremacist and he's clearly Jewish. I don't know how he could possibly be a white supremacist, but they're saying they protest him equally.
And by the way, so am I. Just for the record.
But then
in case you want to say I'm a white supremacist.
But the advantage of having Loren come was that they wouldn't have any
But
preconceptions.
then I say though, I think that you should just be like, okay, so clearly I'm not that. But I don't even know, like I guess, okay, you can't even say that.
I think we
But people
really
are coming
have.
after you
I think
on
we
the
have to
grounds
address.
that you are such and just saying, listen,
We have to
obviously
address
I am
this
Jewish
stuff.
or I am this or that, I am not a white supremacist. But then obviously you're not. So then these people who have these misconceived, I don't know, ideologies, like just stating like the basic premise of who you are and making it very blunt and saying I'm against those people, like from the get-go. I don't know. But then they'll still say you're that, but at least...
They'll say all kinds of things.
Oh, they'll
but
say anything, but
think,
just like putting it out there from the get-go and just stating, here's who I am.
I think we need to address this stuff head on
But
because
just stating that
it
bluntly
is
and
ripping
then...
our
It depends
culture
on
apart today as we sit here.
Because these people are ridiculous.
You're right.
But the
Stating that from the get-go, just stating it.
Yes, sir.
So like the point you made about maybe we should just inquire about whether there are differences between people or just like being able to talk about it.
People are different,
Right.
and it's fine.
But saying I'm not a
It's
white
good.
supremacist, I am not this or that,
The
and
fact,
saying...
the fact that there are more, you know, blacks,
Obviously you're Jewish,
you know,
you're not a white
in the NBA, and more whites in the American, you know, the U.S. Olympic swim team.
But I think you have to say,
We're
though, and
different.
it sounds ridiculous in this day and age,
Yeah,
but these people out here, the Antifa, are uneducated, so you have to
Yes,
say
ma'am.
what she's saying.
Yes, ma'am. Were you going to say something?
someone else want to talk?
Do you want to say something or no?
So there's two things. It depends on what your reaction is. If you want the reaction of if you want a violent reaction, then you're going to place it one way. For example, these two people you just mentioned, Milo and Ben, like they want
They don't want a violent reaction.
they want more of a sensational reaction.
No, they don't. They are actually not. They are clearly not.
I think he does.
Kathy, one second. I just want to answer this question because when
They
you
don't
say
want that
I'm not
reaction.
XYZ, you're immediately triggering people that they're gonna then put
I
you in
agree.
that notion.
I agree with you.
And you don't
and I'm not big hiding behind, you know, I'm in this group, so therefore I'm exempt from your criticism because you're playing their game.
Say that again. Sorry.
For me to say I'm in this group I'm Jewish or whatever, and therefore I'm exempt from the criticism. I'm playing their game. See, I got a get out of jail free card. Okay. Now, this is a reasonable subject for everybody to talk about it, and nobody has a bigger stake and nobody has a smaller stake. It's a society we all share and we all get to contribute. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add to this that as someone who recently got an education in how to say that I'm not a white supremacist, saying I'm not a Nazi is a horrible way to convince people that you're not a Nazi.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Don't ever do that.
That's my
right?
question, because I've been called a Nazi for just
Why don't
saying
you-
kind of what you're saying. You articulated
I know I'm not.
What you have to do, exactly what he said, don't play in their game. You have to throw it back and say, you guys are the party of evidence. What evidence do you have that I'm a Nazi? What proof do you have? And he'd say, like...
I was at some event with my books, and somebody came by and said, it looks racist. And I said...
The books?
My books. And I said, it probably is. And he was really shocked, and he said, why? And I said, because everything's racist, isn't it? Someone's question over here?
But I think you have to you have to say,
Someone agree with
literally, I am
Wagner?
not a racist, whatever, but fine, whatever you say about me, but I
Okay.
think they're going to say whatever they want to say about you. But
Hang on, we got a question over here.
You're remarkably chipper. I appreciate that. You're trying to encourage this individualist, rational, self-interest,
Yes,
moral
I am.
tradition that has a historical history. That and your taxonomy of racism, I thought was very good. The problem is that tribalism and grievance
Run really deep.
They run deep in our nature as it really is, and they benefit many, even if it costs others a great deal. So,
But I agree. You're 100% right. But the secret to America, if we have any secret left, the secret to America, if we have one, is to overcome all of this with logic and camaraderie. And I'm hoping we still can.
At least make them second tier.
The advantage that Loren has, in one respect, compared to the Milos of the world, is that in certain places he can come in with them not having preconceptions. These things all get started because the students are already told what they're supposed to think about these people before they even speak. So then they're primed and they won't listen to anything. That's what happened with Charles Murray. They said the SBLC said this. They don't know anything about Charles Murray. They were told what to think about him.
How many universities have you spoke at?
Oh, none.
None?
How long have you been giving talks like this?
9 years.
9 years.
Would you be
I've
interested?
spoken to a lot of places, but not universities.
Would you be interested in speaking in a university?
Which one?
I think you'd be good at speaking at UMass Boston.
UMass Amherst is my alma mater.
UMass Boston is where I go.
Okay. If we could work it out in the schedule, I'd be happy to. I'm
Chris, send me an email.
happy to speak to people who would like to.
I
who would
run
like to have
two
me
clubs
speak.
at UMass Boston. Well, I help run 2 clubs at UMass Boston, so I'd definitely like to get
Talk with me afterwards. Let's
Yeah.
exchange information, see what we can do. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I loved like your whole speech and everything. Like I thought you were an amazing speaker. I had one thing that like kind of caught me off guard just because I like making this comment everywhere. I am a Republican. I guess I'm not your typical Republican because A, I'm brown, B, female, C, I am Muslim. And one thing that I like to make clear is that radical Islam is very different from what is more commonly practiced, like in America specifically. And I think that, I mean, speaking to us, we all knew exactly what you were talking about, but I feel like if you are speaking to larger audiences, I think it's important to differentiate radical Islam from just Islam in general.
Radical Islam would not even be, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think it would even be a correct term in the Islamic lexicon, you might say.
No, I get it, because I mean, when I say, like, I'm Muslim, I don't follow every single tenet of Islam, but I don't think any Christian can say the same either. Like, I don't think anyone follows to a T any religion. It's all been, like, modernized, I want to say. Like, we keep our, like, basic tenets.
Do they all follow the Quran?
There is a real issue in the world today where Islam is behind a great deal of violence. And it's sad that that's true. I'm very much aware of the history. I told you I was Jewish, you know. One of the things that, you know, comes up a lot when you're Jewish is that in the Middle Ages, the Muslims were a lot nicer to the Jews than the Christians were. But, you know, here we are today, and Islam uniquely around the world is leading to a kind of violence that no other religion is doing. I know really, really, really serious Christians, and I know Christians who are barely Christian at all, and everywhere in between. None of them are doing any kind of, you know, violence or terrorism at all.
But
so
thank you for speaking up, though, for Muslims, because I think
there's
there's
an
a lot
issue
of
there.
By the way,
and I agree with you.
the Tea
that
Party, this
I think
meeting
that
series.
like horrible, like Islamic terrorism, yes. But I think like what you're saying, I have a lot of friends who are Muslim, and that is not the majority.
You have to disown it. It's not.
I'm saying
Islam. It's a
you
practice.
disown it, and
Back
that's
home in
fine.
Miami, me and a bunch of
And you
my
should have a
Muslim
voice.
student association, we try going to like mosques and stuff and speaking up about
Yeah,
people
but
in our
I
own
agree with
community,
you.
which is the biggest issue because like the whole idea of terrorism in America, it is real, it is there, and the biggest issue is that people don't talk about it within our community.
Yeah.
And that's honestly like.
But I like though that you said that there are people like you who are obviously not terrorists and that are here.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, there's one or two people who want to make announcements. Come up here and do it quickly, and then we'll be wrapping up. I just wanted to say that this meeting series wants to do something on Islam probably in the spring. So we will get back to you. I have some people who are interested in doing it. I'm happy to include you into that, whatever we get set up. It might be a debate. It might get hot and heavy, but that's what I want this meeting to be.